Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I am your host, Kingmaker. Down below, we got Archer, and over that way, we got Bonsai. How is it going today, fellas? Archer, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Great.
Had a great week.
Good, good.
Fun. We played a tournament, OTS crew.
Oh, yeah.
We lost terribly. Not really terribly. We actually did really good considering we were up against Grandmaster and Challenger players. But it was fun. It was a good experience.
One of the teams was going to be afraid to face you because they knew it was coming, so they just disbanded.
Yeah. That happened.
Yeah, one of the teams just quit in the middle of the tournament. But
That
what about
sounds
you,
like a
Bonds?
victory. You inspired
Yeah, I know.
fear.
I know. We take those.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah, we take those. I'll take that.
Take those.
Good.
The actual story, though, is that their jungler
yeah.
quit, and so that's why they disbanded. But yeah,
we don't
still
even
take
know that.
No,
That's like
I like the fear.
They can. That's the fear. That's our perception. Our perception is fear.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the true story right there.
Bonds, you were telling me before you got a was it a facial or a scrub down at the spa?
Oh yeah. So I got how do I explain this? So I work at a spa, so I have to I get free services. So I was chilling yesterday, and they gave me like a salt scrub and moisturizer or whatever. Just got to relax, chill. Worked out, went hit the sauna. Yeah, dude, you gotta take care of yourself so you can
Thunder
keep
Bridges, what's up?
more Wild Rift.
Yeah, I didn't get to be this pretty by not taking care of myself. Like this face of mine.
Yeah. You gotta take care of yourself so you can keep gaming, bro. Keep climbing.
Exactly. So this week we're actually working on changing the whole show as a whole. This way it could be more of a standalone or more all-encompassing. This way it's not just a Reddit segment.
Your one-stop shop.
Exactly. For some reason, Bonsai's lagging like crazy.
Oh, am I still lagging now?
Yeah.
Your video looks fine on my end. It's your audio. Like he'll say something and I'll see your lips move, but the audio doesn't come until a couple seconds afterwards.
Maybe.
Yeah, right there. Like I saw you talk, but nothing happened until a few seconds later.
Now he's fucking with us. So a lot of big things to cover this week. We have esports segment to cover where we're going to start doing an esports segment with our local esports resident Bonsai. Then we're going to go over the patch notes. So without further ado, since we have 3 people watching, come on, people, come on. We will kick it over to the lesson plan. Bonsai, what did you want to tell us about the Icons Global Championship of 2022?
Am I still lagging?
I have no idea. I cannot see you.
But you heard me.
I heard you, yes.
You can't see me?
No,
you
not
hear
with
me though?
Well, your icon is really small.
No, because
you can hear me though.
I can hear you. I've got it tabbed over, so I can't see you.
Yeah. No, it's okay. As long as you can hear me, I'm not lagging anymore.
Nope. No, you're fine, as far as I know.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so I thought it'd be cool with this coming up. We can start keeping up with it, and the WNS series just ended, so this is the next big stage for them. The group draw, they already had it, so all the brackets already got designed up for it. But the play-in starts June 14th, and it was supposed to be in Madrid, and they moved it to Singapore. Which, I mean, either way, that's still pretty cool. But Madrid would have been awesome just to kind of keep expanding Wild Rift globally. We get everyone involved because I feel like that side of the plan. It's kind of they got enough Wild Rift going on. Let's get everyone else involved, you know.
Oh yeah.
But the play-in starts June 14th, and then Liquipedia can explain to you exactly how the tournament's going to break down. But it's going all the way up until the 9th. What is it? Yeah, the 9th. So it's towards the first or second week of July.
That'll be the knockout stage.
So yeah, NA got 2 teams qualified to go participate in Singapore with Immortals.
And the Sentinels.
Immortals had a really impressive season.
Immortals
they pretty much went undefeated.
Really good.
Yeah, they pretty much went undefeated all the way up until the finals, and WNS going up against Sentinels. Sentinels I think did take 1 or 2 games away from them, but still pretty impressive from both of them.
Immortals
is already
reckoned with.
Yeah, it's going to be great to see them compete against everyone else too, because I was looking at some of the play-in groups that looked down at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Stamina Esports made it in too, and we were scrimming against them a couple times at one point. And then if Sentinels passes their play-in group, they could potentially rematch against Immortals to get out of Group D in the group stage.
Now,
so
have
everybody
you been
that's in this play-in?
Have you been paying attention to other regions or just North America?
I've seen some of the other regions play. I know T1 is going to be pretty fun to watch. Team Queso and Sengoku and Rolster are all pretty good teams to watch. They were in the circuit and competing last year. There's definitely some new teams coming up that I'm not familiar with. I think Donuts was doing pretty good, and they're a somewhat newer team this year. So, I mean, definitely watching some stamina games to go support that Latin American teams. But other than that, I haven't looked too much into any other teams, because I really just want to see Immortals or Sentinels take it all, you know. Something
that surprised me from this, looking at it, Furious and Stamina, no TSM, which they went to the Horizon Cup.
Yep.
And they did not qualify for this one. I don't know if they're still a team, to be honest, but they are.
Yeah, I haven't heard much from them.
Yeah, they're a Brazilian team, so I don't know if they're still together.
Come back to NA, please.
Yeah. We would definitely need more big name teams to sponsor some of these players and get them some more money, because a lot of them are underpaid and underrepresented.
We need like a giant needle full of money and then just like inject it.
It's
the Wild Rift.
I wonder if Immortals looks so good because they have the infrastructure of the LCS team to back them up. So whereas maybe
just that.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, the players that are Immortals, Kuhn is playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if that's because they are facilitated by the LCS team, so that they don't have to worry about anything other than playing the game, and if their coaching staff is apropos to making or their success. If they are taking that League of Legends experience that they've had for such a long time and putting it into this team. Is Immortal still playing in the LCS? I think so.
I'm not sure, but if they did have the option to do that, I mean, that's what they're doing. That's probably what they did. It's not that hard. That's why a lot of these higher elo players do have PC experience, because coming in and having that macro understanding already and being familiar with the champions. I mean, yeah,
absolutely. KT.
That's why
I'm excited by KT, because KT is one of the oldest gaming, teams in the LCS. FPX, I think FPX won the World Championships a couple of years ago. The Yahweh Flash Wolves, also another strong team in LCS. So I'm really excited to see what we can do against some of these teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good to watch. And for everybody watching, we'll be doing a contest when the Icon series starts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, get a little kind of predictions going.
Yeah, so it's gonna be we're gonna see who wins. So it's not gonna be necessarily a bracket, but kind of like a fantasy draft where you're gonna pick a team. We're gonna lock it in, write it down, and if you have a correct prediction, Bonsai is gonna give you $500.
Um, I really wish I could do that. I really wish I could just give away $500 like that, just for somebody out there, just to support us
Yeah.
and support the stream. But no, they'll win a season pass or RP enough, the $20 worth of RP.
I still think
And we'll
I
probably have
might
2
still
stages, too.
have that gift code I won from that giveaway you did, because I haven't redeemed it yet. So someone can get that. Someone get that.
Yeah,
I
there we
can't
go.
actually use it because I'm
Yeah.
in Mexico.
Oh yeah, that's a problem,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, and I completely forgot about it until just like a few days ago. I was like, hey, I have this gift code. I can give that to someone.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking we could do 2 stages for the play-ins and then one for the
Yeah.
group stage for the grand final. So I think it'll be fun. But
Yeah.
I can't wait to just kick back and watch some great games.
I agree.
I think fantasy draft type thing is super fun. Clash Royale did that a few years back during their first ever championship. Like they had an in-game thing where you could click a link and it'd take you to like this thing where you could make your own fantasy team, like with different players. And then depending on how they did, you would get in-game currencies like gems and gold coins and stuff like that.
Sounds
Yeah,
pretty
no,
cool.
I'm not that fancy. I don't know how to code all that stuff. Hopefully eventually on wildrift.gg you'll be able to do that. Wink, wink, nod, nudge, nudge, heel shot. But is that all? Is that all we had for the Icons Global Championship? Oh,
Yeah,
you know
I
what?
think so.
The prize
I
pool. We
mean-
didn't talk about the prize pool. It's a $2 million
I guess
prize
that's-
pool.
Yeah, it's a $2 million prize pool.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
To be shared
That's
between the top 4 or top 3?
four.
Top 4.
Okay. Top 4. Yeah, it's top 4.
Top 4.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's why you do it,
That's
baby.
honestly crazy.
I mean, you do it because this greatest game that was ever made, but
that's pocket change for Bonsai.
Yeah, we all know Bonsai is rich.
If I had that much money, I would just buy my own team.
Would you
just go?
Would you spend 3.5K?
Yeah, I would put down 3.5K a month.
Gotcha. That's good to know. You know, Asmo shared a lot of information with us, but like behind the scenes stuff, where some of the players, you know, we made that joke about 3.5K, but it was like 3.5K for one player a month, where some of these teams are only like $100.
It'd be like that sometimes.
It'd be like that. So, moving on to the next step in the lesson plan, we have the Wild Rift patch 3.2. I've blown it up here. Let me see if I can scroll it out so to make it readable. First look at Wild Rift patch 3. Yeah, I can't speak. First look at Wild Rift patch 3.2. Alistar is getting a buff. It's his Triumphant Roar self-heal is going from 20 to 125 to 27 to 160. That's a huge self-heal. Triumphant Roar heals allies from 250 to 320 at max level. That's huge too. Triumphant Roar cooldown is up 2 seconds. So that's kind of a nerf, but that's okay. Headbutt cooldown. His headbutt's getting reduced to 9 seconds from 9.5 at maximum.
That's good. I think Alistar really deserves a buff because it was kind of disappointing because after the last chance qualifiers and WNS, I felt like people were actually giving Alistar the recognition he deserves because he's such a good tank. But after the last patch, people just kind of went back to not using him because it's not that good using tanks right now, and so I think giving him a buff is I think he deserves it. Alistair deserves a lot of play. He's a really good support.
Yeah.
I don't play him,
Yeah.
but I respect him as a champion. And so I actually like this a lot.
I'm a huge Alistar fan.
I think he's
yeah.
He's I think it's gonna help definitely to bring him back a little bit for some comps. But yeah, I agree with what Blue Potato just said. I want to see the Alistar Baron lanes.
I got stomped by an Alistair jungle one time, but it was actually a really annoying strategy because it was Malphite support with smite. It was double smite. Alistair support with smite and Alistair jungle, and it was the most ridiculous thing because you'd get double engaged by Alistair Malphite, and it was impossible. Yeah, it was impossible to get any objectives because you'd get knocked up by the Alistair, knocked up by the Malphite, and you can't even get off your smite. And then they have 2 smites they can use. It was so annoying.
I got knocked up by Alistar once. Now I have a cow baby.
There it is.
Sorry, children.
It looks like they're gonna tinker with Echo a little bit too.
Yeah.
Make him
adjustment
more
to the base health, armor, and mana. Time Winder now deals 130% bonus damage to monsters, so that looks like a jungle buff. Parallel Convergence passive minion or passive base missing health damage is going up, and Phase Dive AP ratio is that his that's a stun, right? Phase Dive?
Yeah, I think so. No.
Or is that his third skill?
His kit. I'm not
I know what he does. I just don't know the names of it. I think that might be.
I think that's his third.
Yeah.
That might be his dash engage thing.
Yeah,
I
think so.
He definitely needs the Time Winder and Parallel Convergence buff because his clear is just so slow.
Yeah.
And so having the bonus monster damage is going to be good. Parallel Convergence, you really had to go for it first in order to have a quick jungle clear, and then this is just going to help because the max health, it's going to make your clear a little faster. I don't know what the adjustment to base health and armor and mana is going to be, but I do feel like he had a little too much base armor because when I played him as a support, I built what's it called?
Oh yeah, he is a little bit more resilient.
Yeah, I built what's it called? The Gauntlet.
Iceborn?
And
Gauntlet.
Yeah, Iceborn Gauntlet. And with just that, like the circle, the AoE circle was enormous. Just because of his base armor. It's like he just had so much of it that like even though like I only had that, it was kind of ridiculous. And so they might be lowering his armor because of that, because he just has so much at just level 1, but I'm not sure. Because at the same time, he does actually kind of feel a bit squishy. And if you have someone like Soraka or Garen who can silence him and keep him from ulting away, like he's just kind of screwed. And so they could be increasing it. So it could go both ways. But you never know.
This is just going to help mostly with this, like you said, with this clear. So
yeah, keep him healthy, keep him,
here, look,
up to pace with other junglers. For no reason at all.
Yeah,
other than the fact that she isn't picked a lot, which I mean, honestly, I think it's just an appeal thing. I don't think people actually like playing Fiora that much, from my experience. Like most people who have played her are just kind of not really into it.
I don't know. I think she's a strong champion. She's never really felt like a weak champion. We don't see her as much anymore, but I think she's definitely still a strong champion. Last time I played her, I went it went really well for me. But her base health is going up from 570 to 610, which I really don't think she needed a buff. And her lunge damage is going up from 105 to 115 at the max level. Nunu
I
and
think they
Willem
actually nerfed the lunge damage last patch, and so this might just be them going back.
could be.
They might be just trying to reward players for being able to
Yeah.
land the lunge that they did shorten
Yeah.
a little bit. So now
Yeah, I
Because
mean-
honestly, the
giving back a
lunge
little bit.
isn't much of a problem. Like, I've never found a problem with the lunge. Like, if you're good enough, you can just dodge it. And it's not like she can, like, change where it's going or anything. It's super easy to dodge. I think it's just her passive that's annoying.
What's
like,
her
the
passive?
true damage.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
deals true damage. When
she
you
deals
mark.
true damage.
She heals.
And heals.
Okay. When you hit the
but-
vitals.
But even then, like, her passive isn't that annoying. I think it's just her all-around kit is because, like, she can use her, like, she can protect herself, make herself go invincible. She can heal. She has a lot of sustain. I think her just as a champion is just kind of annoying. But I honestly think she was just fine the way she was now. Like, this buff, honestly, I don't think is going to do much. But, I mean, who knows? She might come back into play a lot more.
Bevan McLean said, "I think the lunge range
Yeah.
nerf kind of hurt her. So maybe they nerfed the range, but they're boosting the damage for it."
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Like, you know, it's harder to hit now, but, you know, more damage. Like Bonsai said, you know, they're just rewarding players for actually being able to hit it, which I can respect that. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
There's really no problem with this buff right here.
what I really liked about this was the. I was talking about this with Barge yesterday. The Iceborn Gauntlet buff.
Oh, yeah.
We're going down to
Where the
items now.
changes. Yeah, the man. So now it's going to give you health on top of.
Yeah.
With half the amount of mana, it's going to convert into health now. You're still going to get a spellblade bonus, but it's going to be based off of your armor.
It's going to be
and
based
attack
off of,
damage.
yeah, attack and
Yeah.
armor. So I like that. They added Kindle Gem
Yeah.
to the build path, which I actually like. It
Mhm.
gives it more of
it's gonna
a
be good.
defensive type build path, which I like because most of the time when you build Iceborn Gauntlets, it's going to be on champions like Malphite or, you know, engaged tanks, Leona.
Yep.
And so I think
On
having
our
Kindle
screen.
Gem is good just to, you know, give you a little more health. And it gives ability haste too, right? Kindle Gem?
No, I don't
No.
think so. Oh, a Kindle
I
Gem,
don't-
yes.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I'm
So
assuming
yeah.
Iceborn Gauntlet will give you ability haste to some
Yeah.
degree.
Shit,
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys know. I don't know anything about items. I really do not. When it comes to items, I am useless. People ask me all the time, "What should I build?" And I'm like, "Build whatever makes you happy." Because I have no clue when it comes to items.
No, I mean items are really important. You have
Yeah.
to. You're capitalizing on what your champion can do and how fast you can scale.
Yeah.
Don't get
with
me
how much
wrong.
gold you're
I
getting.
I know how to build boots when I need to build boots, but I mean that's
Yeah, you
my
definitely need
limit
boots.
is the boots. If I could
You
just
need
build boots
so you can
all
attack
game,
the Nexus.
exactly. If I could just build boots, then I'd win every game. Every game.
Oh, they
But-
nerfed Conqueror now too,
Oh man.
and so now
Yeah.
they're trying to make the pick Kraken Slayer and Lethal Temple more often. I was watching a developer's End Steps Twitch when he breaks down the 3.2 patch.
Yeah.
And they said that they were working on the new runes that they just put out now. They started working on them in January, apparently. So I'm not surprised to see that this Conquer nerf here, because they're like, you need to use these other things
Yeah.
that are going to be meta now.
Oh yeah.
And that's one thing. That's one thing that, you know, these patch notes do. You know, pick rate goes a lot into it. People just think that they're going to nerf whoever is strong and buff whoever isn't strong, but it mainly has to do with pick rate. Like, you know, with Fiora, you know, they're giving her a buff. You know, she's fine where she is now, but she's not getting picked, and so that's the problem. They want Fiora to get picked, and so a lot of changes that they do is usually to make people. It's them basically saying, "Hey, we want you to use this, and so we're going to make this weaker, or we're going to make this stronger, so you use it." Because they want everything to be balanced. You know, they don't want one certain champion to be picked more than this one at like an extreme rate. They want everything to kind of sit in a line. Like I read, I think Hell's Devil made a video on it where he went through the thought process of the developers, because they released this thing at like what percentage is they went through, and most of the time it was usually the pick rate that mattered most. Like win rates had a big part in it, and lose rates as well, but it was the pick rate that seemed to hold the most importance. And so I think that's really what's happening right here. A lot of the stuff that I see is getting buffed is stuff that isn't really being picked a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think Nunu's
And
picked
then-
up quite a bit.
Nunu's actually picked quite a bit.
That consume
I
is
think
going
someone
to be,
I think someone at Riot just likes Nunu.
yeah, I think so too.
Honestly,
That consume
Maybe.
going down a second is going to be nice.
yeah,
Renekton, he's got his base health regeneration and his dominance change going up to 120 to 150 damage at level 5.
yeah.
Is it 5?
See,
Is it 4?
Renekton. Yeah,
It's 4, right? Yeah.
Yeah. See, Renekton though, I feel like he's picked plenty, but he doesn't perform very well. Like when I see Renektons, like they usually do okay. It's either they do really bad or they do okay. Like I don't really see many good Renektons that are doing really well. Like most of the time, like they don't get over like 6 kills in a match.
You've never
And
seen my
so-
Renekton, have you?
No,
It's
I've
so
never
bad it
actually-
makes
I've
other
never-
ones look good.
I feel like most Baron lane champions, they're just like the role that they're supposed to play. It doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
mean that they have to get a ton of kills. It definitely helps
Yeah.
if a champion, like a heavy engager AD champion like Renekton, has a bunch of kills, because then it's really hard to kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it kind of, because like most Baron laners don't need like a lot of kills to perform well, but like if you have a Renekton who has like 5 kills but has like 5 deaths as well, like that's not really going to do much for your team. And so,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the problem that I've seen with him. It's like he'll do well early, but then fall off so hard late game that
hmm
it's almost like he just makes your team lose.
I'm going to
Like,
say something
so
controversial. I would
Yes.
rather have a 5-5 Renekton than a 5-5 Irelia or Riven. Because I think
Fair.
Renekton can build tanky enough to where he is still
Yeah.
useful in disrupting and zoning off enemies. Plus, his on-hit stun is just insane for picking targets in the late game. Whereas Irelia, you really have to make sure you land your stun, and if you can't land your stun, you're kind of useless at being 5-5. If you were 5-0, that's a different story. But 5-5, you're probably dead even in gold with the enemy top laner or the enemies. So I would rather see a Renekton in that case than one of those carry top laners be at that same score.
Well, that's just I agree. That's just really just a case of utility over damage. And like I'd prefer that as well, honestly.
And the last one that we have coming, oh shit, wrong button. Whoops, language. Sorry. Excuse me. Veigar is getting a buff. His Baleful Strike cooldown's going down to 4 seconds, which he doesn't need, but that'll be great for your support Veigar. And his
Is that Baleful Strike is his just
That's
skill
his key-
shot,
that's his
or is
first
that
ability.
his? That's his key. Okay,
That's
yeah,
his
I
key.
never remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. You know,
and duration
it's,
yeah.
of the event horizon crowd control is going up from 2.25 to 2.5. At
that's good.
yeah, and you know what we say to that?
This
Wow.
actually, I know you were probably joking about the
Wow.
support Veigar, but this is actually a good buff for support Veigar because you
No,
get a
I was being
longer
serious.
stun. Yeah, yeah, but like it is honestly. But even mid lane, I think this Baleful Strike cooldown is going to be great because one of the problems that people have is that you can't stack fast enough. And I think that's just because, with this 5-second cooldown, once you hit level 2, it's not a problem. But at level 1, like you usually get like maybe 1 or 2 stacks during a wave just because the cooldown just kind of messes with you. But now that's 4, like you can probably pick up every minion in the wave in the first wave.
Probably. In
Yep.
general.
Yeah. In general.
And
Yeah.
just going down the champion nerfs, because I really don't want to read it all out. We've got Camille, Gragas, Graves, Irelia, Olaf, and Ziggs. I need them to leave my Irelia alone.
I think Aurelia's nerf is useless, honestly. I mean,
I
yeah,
think
her
it was good.
clear. Well, here's the
You're
thing.
just not going to see Aurelia jungle anymore. Or
Exactly.
you shouldn't
But like
at least see
I
Aurelia jungle.
didn't see Irelia jungle that much anyway. Like it's usually mid lane or top lane that I see. Probably out of like 10 Irelia games, like maybe 2 of them are jungle most of the time.
Her wave clear,
so-
her wave clear in lane is also going to be slower too.
Yeah, yeah, they need to leave her alone because I've been spamming nothing but her. But you know what they say.
Well, when life gives you lemons, punch life in the throat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Poor Camille's finally getting pushed out too. They were slowly picking away at her. But I thought it was weird that most of this was just jungle champions that were kind of like here, or Olaf just won't be able to chase down as much or get that early game pressure with the nerfs that
wonder
they gave to him. But majority of these are champions that were either in the Baron or jungle that got nerfed. So
I wonder if it has something to do with Echo. Maybe they're trying to. Because, I mean, Graves is actually really popular right now. So is Olaf, Irelia, Gragas, Camille. They're all really used jungles at the moment.
Yep.
But maybe they're just like kind of bringing that down, trying to change the juggle meta up a bit, kind of make it.
I mean, they are, because it's coming.
Yeah,
it's all coming.
Definitely is.
The big one, the big hit. I don't think it's here yet. Like the really big change, obviously, isn't here yet, but we'll see it. I want to say we'll probably see it after Icons.
What I really want to see is that nerf to Graves. Oh no, I'm lagging. I think his late game damage is just way too strong.
But this is just nerfing his damage to monsters. It's just this wave clear.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think we need to hit him harder because he's a champion that once he hits late game, he can just 1v9 the whole team.
That's true. I mean, depending on how strong he gets. But yeah, he does.
This actually kind of changed that because Graves clear earlier in the game isn't actually that good. Like I would compare it to more like Tryndamere. It starts out like okay, it's decent. It's not super fast. It's not really slow, but
I think
this kind of slows it down
clear.
Yeah, it's one of those clears.
I think he has a really strong clear.
Yeah, it's not like Echo's clear, which is complete garbage. It's a healthy clear, and that's why he does pretty well because he scales really well. He has a healthy clear. This kind of just brings that down a bit. Same with Yi. Yi's clear was faster than Shyvana, and like it was faster than Shyvana and Morgana, and all they had to do was nerf his clear by just a bit, and now we're back to hardly ever seeing Yi anymore. And so this it's not a big nerf to his clear. I mean, it's just 30%.
That's a 30% nerf. That's a lot.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be worse, but
I mean,
his
yeah,
kit
it could
kind
be,
of
but that's
his kit kind of helps him because he has a good AoE, so he clears AoE camps a little better.
True. Yeah, but I mean,
it's
not
going to hurt him a lot.
So
yeah, it's not going to hurt him a lot.
I think this is significant enough to see that he may not be as viable in Baron lane or jungle against other champions that have faster clears or can
Yeah,
maintain
definitely.
wave management a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
All I know, since Bevan is talking crap, is that I want Graves to be nerfed so bad that no one plays him anymore,
Wow.
and he's just put in the Graves. He's just left in the Graves.
Graves enjoyers.
Graves
I
He's
know.
watching the
enjoyers.
Graves.
It's terrible.
Well, I don't know when they're probably gonna drop this soon, but I'm excited to see what happens.
Frozen
What else
Hearts
they
getting
might add or
buff.
take away. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
it's just gonna
giving
be a little
it.
bit cheaper.
Yeah.
They don't really. Not a lot of people build it too often. I think that's why.
Yeah.
But with Iceborn Gauntlet
More
getting
Billy
adjusted, I
Hayes
think
cheaper.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just closing back.
Iceborn Gauntlet getting adjusted, it's gonna cause people to go for that more often than Frozen Heart, I think, in my opinion.
And then we go to Nimbus Cloak getting moved. Who cares? No one cares about that item. Moving
Actually,
on.
I actually really like Nimbus Cloak.
You
I was
would.
talking to Mafia. It's
would.
so broken on Darius, but also it's honestly one of the best ASOL ruins in the game. Like,
Wow.
if you just pop barrier, you have so much movement speed and you have the protection from activating your barrier that you can get out of any situation. You already have your stun, you have your ultimate. You literally become unkillable because you just hit him with a stun, activate your barrier, and you get away every single time. And then in a team fight, you can chase down people easier, hit them with your stars. Late game, it's ridiculous because you have so much movement speed, so much damage. I
Wow.
love it. Like I don't even run
I can see
anything
that.
else on him anymore, just Nimbus Cloak in my inspiration tree.
Okay. Moving on, we have some Reddit questions that Archer pulled. So each episode, we're going to do a little bit of each. This way, it can not feel so boring and overbearing and just dull. Hopefully, it's not dull. I don't know if I'm bringing the right energy today. Last week has been shitty, so forgive me if my energy is not there.
Yeah,
this comes
get
from
your energy right, King Maker.
sorry, man. Sorry.
Yeah, nah.
Get in there. Sorry. This one comes from Devasta, the Seeker. It says, "Don't give up on a champ if you feel like you don't play them well. Some champs I try out a bit, and just don't play very well at all. Amumu, Jarvan, Caitlyn, Mundo come to mind when I think of personal bad first impressions, but all of these champions that I used to not really enjoy playing suddenly clicked at some point, and now I play all of them from time to time. Don't let a couple of bad games discourage you from playing a champion." How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah. There's definitely every person that plays and kind of like enjoys playing this game has a champion pool.
Yeah.
And if you want to be good at this game, you should have a champion pool. And yeah, you need at least, I would say, to say you're really comfortable on a new champion that you just learned, you would need at least 300 games. To say that you're like really starting to understand the champion and you feel comfortable, I would say minimum 100 games.
Yeah.
And then after 300 games, you can be like, okay, yeah, and then you start limit testing and you start getting better and better. But I have, how many mastery level champions do you have that are at level, they're maxed out level 7 or 8? What I can't remember what the highest
None.
number
I
is.
suck at this game.
Yeah. I don't have anything
What
that are
about you?
maxed out. The highest I have is Soraka at Mastery 6. I have a ton of Mastery 5. But like I agree. Like I usually don't feel like I've fully come to understand how a champion works until like the 100 game mark. Like if I look at Zed, like I just hit 100 games like a couple days ago, and I'm just now realizing like how far I've come with him. Because like looking back when I only had like 10 games, 20 games, 30 games, it was like I really felt useless, and I really felt like I couldn't actually play him. But I kept going and kept going. Now that I have 100 games on him, it's like, I can actually play him. I actually understand him pretty well. But at the same time, I'm not at that point to where I can say like, oh, like I know Zed better than anyone else. Like I've mastered him.
Yeah.
There's still so much room for improvement.
I have full mastery on Nami, and then I think I'm about to hit full mastery on Braum, and I'm almost there on Lulu. Yeah, and that's like that 5. Is. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was saying that is alone is 360 games, I think, on Nami or something like that.
Yeah.
And it took me mastery level 7, so it's like, yeah, you have to. There's so much potential for, and each champion too has such a high skill cap, depending on what you're playing.
And also, putting time into it is important because, like, there's so many players that they'll rank up really fast. Like, if I look at Tryndamere, I got mastery 5 within like 20 games because I got like MVP over and over and over again. And I was winning a ton. And I got rewarded for that. But at that moment, I couldn't say like, oh, I'm a really good Tryndamere, because there is a thing as beginner's luck. There's going to be times where you pick up a champion and it just kind of clicks and you're good at it. But there will be a moment where that kind of luck kind of just goes away. Like I was playing Aurelia and I had just gotten Aurelia. I started playing jungle. I had like 20 wins and 6 losses. And then all of a sudden that beginner luck just went away. And I think I'm like 20 and 21 right now. I have yet to win a match after my 20th match, like 26th match as Aurelia. And so like it happens. And so, at that moment when I was 20 and 6, I was like kind of impressed with myself. Like, hey, I can play Aurelia. And then that happens. And it's like, nope, I can't. And so that's something to look out. So there's two spectrums hands to it. Yeah. Yeah. Aurelius so crazy.
It's I don't know why I picked her out of all the I'm 59 games in on her with like a 56.7% win rate. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all, but she's a broken champion. I'm finally getting to the point where I'm like, okay, I can pilot her a little bit around team fights. Like I know I can jump onto a target over a wall or something if I land vision or something. Like watching people play her to a high level, like Altria was phenomenal on Irelia. Really good. So I could not imagine playing at the level he did.
Yeah, but I mean, each champion has a place and a time at the end of the day, and having at least 3 or 4 champions in the beginning that you can like feel really comfortable with. That's enough versatility. Having for each lane for at least every kind of match, at least 1 to 2 or different kinds of matchups. Because if you don't win the draft, you're more than likely not going to win the game.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, draft has a lot to do with most games.
Moving on to the next question. This is from So Intact. Anyone notice trends when they hit their win streaks? I've been focusing hard on playing Braum pretty much exclusively, and now I'm in low Diamond 4. I've noticed a couple of things that are usually early indicators that I'll win based on the conditions in my match history. I win most of my matches starting on the mirrored side of the map and less so on the regular side. What was odd was that I've played more games on the mirror side when I normally expect a 50-50 split. A substantial amount of kill participation in games where deaths are less than 5 are usually victories. I lose most of my games when Caitlyn isn't banned and I play against her. Only reason I don't ban Caitlyn is if someone on my team wants to play her. Braum is one of my favorite champions, and his low pick rate makes it easy to get my reps in with him. I'm curious if any of you have continually played one champion in numerous games on a streak and noticed typical conditions that get you to the victory. Do you guys notice this?
Yeah, 100%.
What?
It's a thing.
Yeah, this is a thing, but I think really what this is all about. It's just what you're comfortable with. Because he says here, like, he wins most games on the mirror side of the map. Well, that just means he's more comfortable on the mirrored side of the map. And so, right, you know, when he's on that side of the map, he's comfortable, he's playing well, and yeah, that's just how it goes. And Caitlyn, you know, he says he loses most his games when Caitlyn isn't banned and he plays against her. That just means he doesn't quite know how to lane against Caitlyn. And so it really depends on like what you're comfortable with, what does it, because I actually I'm the same way. I usually win, like when I'm playing Soraka, I usually win most of my games on the mirrored side of the map rather than the regular side of the map. Like it's weird because when I'm on the mirrored side of the map, it's easier to land my skill shots for some reason. Like just the way everything is laid out. Like when I'm playing support on a top lane like that, like it just seems easier. Whereas on the bottom side of the map, I'm missing skill shots a lot more than I am on the mirror side of the map. And so it's really about what you're comfortable with. And so, and also, I don't know how the algorithm works on how it chooses what side of the map. Because I will, most of the time when I have a win streak, it's because I'm, you know, I'm on the mirrored side of the map like 3 or 4 games in a row. But then when I lose, it's usually because that, you know, that fourth match I'm on the regular side of the map, and it almost feels like an off balance and like I'm thrown off balance.
I don't know. I feel like I play better while it's normal. Like if I'm playing Baron lane, I need to be in the top lane.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because I'm so used to League PC, but that's just normal for me. What do you think, Bonds?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely habits where you definitely hit a flow.
Yeah.
Because you're playing the game, you're learning from your mistakes. It's kind of like a workout. It's got kind of like idea of a flow state. And you're just like getting your reps in, you're hitting your games in, you're winning games, you start getting kind of, your brain starts operating differently because you're just in the zone and you're something about it. You just keep going. But there's definitely habits that make a winning mentality and make you better. And in those win streaks, I mean, for me, I was almost about to hit D4 or drop out of Diamond, I think like a week and a half ago. And I just started spamming more Karma, Senna, Seraphine, and just other things that, like, I understand how to play these champions and I know how to execute them, but I just started going even further in the bag of things, and I just started climbing up, and I started ranking up more often. This morning I won, I think I went 3-2 in my games, and I was playing Baron lane the whole time. So you definitely have to, like, I think, understand how you feel and what you want to do, because the game itself is also like mentally taxing. But
yeah, absolutely.
Knowing how to play the game and being better at the game will also get you the most win streaks.
Absolutely. That's not true, man. I feel like I know how to play the game well. I just can't do it. That's why I have to ban.
You got to get your hands. You got to get your hands to do what your brain is thinking. And if your brain isn't thinking, well, I don't know.
If my hands did what my brain thought, I would not be somebody who would want to go to work on Tuesday because of reasons.
Like Yami says all the time, no thought, head empty. That's my problem.
T-H-O-U-T. I thought it was T-H-O-T. I was like, no thought, head empty. It's never mind. Sorry, kids. This next one comes from Mega Lotus. Is leashing now needed? Not too long ago, I remember you don't need to leash in Wild Rift, but I just had a match where a jungler flamed me and threw the whole match, all while throwing a hissy fit. I'm not much of an active player nor jungle main, so I don't know which changes happened that made leashing that big of a deal. So do you need to leash nowadays?
I think it's to leash or not to leash.
That is the question.
That is the question.
We-
I think it's a courtesy leash.
Yeah.
What
I
about
think-
junglers in the chat think?
Yeah, I want to know what y'all, because when I play jungle, I actually don't care at all. Like if I get a leash, like, oh cool, that's a slower clear speed, that's great. But typically, you know, I'm already playing like Shyvana or Morgana, who has quicker clears, and Rengar, who doesn't really need it, but you know, it's good if he gets it. So like, I really don't care. And there's a lot of junglers who care too much about it. Like I don't think
Yes.
like a Lee Sin shouldn't have to worry about getting a leash. But like I've had so many times where like
yeah.
they're like, you know, I need a leash. I need to, you know, get ahead early. And I'm like, you're already set up to do that. You have the resources to do that. So like just do it. You
I mean,
know?
I think it comes to like number one, if you don't have a higher understanding of how the jungle champions work and how the clear speed works, and also understanding like what your bot lane matchup is going to be and whether or
Yeah.
not it is more advantageous for you to get to lane first so you could potentially get a first blood, and then also like I think high set that your jungler may not have a fast clear speed or might need to help tank some damage before having to being able to smite it. So if you can figure all that out and you make a sound decision, you're like, I'm not going to leash because I'll be fine, or I am going to leash because of this, then yeah, by all means. But I think in general, like just give them a courtesy leash. Like
Yeah.
most junglers need the leash, and I think most of the time, if you leash your jungler, they're going to gank you.
Yeah. I leash every game I play. Yeah, it really doesn't matter what, like, and that kind of has to do with
Yeah.
I'm a support, so I'm not super worried about getting to lane late and missing a little XP.
You got to, man. That
And
level
so-
2 power
Well,
spike.
there's timing.
Yeah.
You get if you get to
but,
lane
like-
by 25 seconds, you won't miss anything. So
Yeah. I usually
your jungle
leave-
camp spawns at
Yeah.
18 seconds, and then you have until 25 seconds to get to lane until you potentially
Exactly.
miss your first.
And
your first
and that's
minion.
what I do. That's what I do, and I get to lane like most of the time. It just depends on like the situation, because sometimes you know you get invaded and you stay a little longer, and it just depends. But like I think leashing is something that more people could do, but it's, you know, it's not something to worry about if you're a jungler. You know, if you're playing
Yeah.
a jungle with a slower clear and you're worried about not having a leash, then get a different jungler, get someone who's quicker, because you know obviously you don't have the experience to, you know, actually, like, I wouldn't suggest a slow jungle clear to someone who's new to jungle, because you know it's harder for them to keep up with their goal, to keep up with their clear. And so if you're playing someone with a slow clear and you feel like you can't jungle without a leash, then you know get good at someone who doesn't need a leash, and that way when you go back to the one with the slower one, you know you have that experience and you can, you know, keep up in different ways. And like, yeah.
I'm going to say this. If I'm jungling and I start on red side and the top laner does not come and leash for me, the enemy top laner will have double buffs by the time I get done. So, yeah, I will feed. I will feed 100%. I am that.
It sounds good. Never playing games with you.
Just leash me, man.
Yeah,
Just leash me. That's all you need to do. Just leash me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bridges makes a good
But
point. You know, the other team leashes can make a huge difference. You know, if the enemy team leashes red and you don't get a red leash, that's gonna speed up them and slow down you.
I cannot stop yawning. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and I am dying inside.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
terrible.
My dad wanted to go to the movies yesterday, and so we went to see the 21 Pilots cinema experience thing. and I was exhausted afterwards. I got to bed. I got home and just immediately went to bed.
That must be nice, man. Just go to bed. I don't know what that is. Wait until you have kids, Archer. Then never sleep again. This next question comes from 69 Reddit 69. Nice. Question about items.
Yeah, dude. Mad chill.
I'm still pretty new to this game, and I was wondering how important it is you choose your item purchases during a game. Currently, I'm only using the suggested item spawns I run. They're coming to get you. Items based off the best 3 players. From following this page, many people mention about item choice selection. If it's truly important, how do I know which items work for me, and how I counter with item selection? Not sure if it matters, but my current favorite champions are Jax, Tristana, Ashe, and Kayle. This sounds like a top lane player.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a player. Tristana,
Sounds like
Ashe,
a player.
Kayle, a player. Yeah, Jax. I mean, like there's 3 different lanes.
Itemization is
super important.
It's an advanced topic, because you could say to beginners, you'd say just if they have healing, build Grievous Wounds, build stuff that counters their stuff. But then it gets to a point to where like most of the time you're building different things like almost every match. Like there's certain champions though, and certain roles. Like support is usually going to build the same every match, maybe changing out a few things every now and then. Whereas most top laners, they can have a different build like every single match. Mafia was teaching Sid, was going over some of Sid's gameplay, Darius gameplay. I think maybe yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just kind of sitting in, and as we were watching, we noticed how he always built the same thing every match, even if it didn't benefit him. Like one match, he built Black Cleaver against a Mundo who was just building no armor and just building HP. And so we were like, instead of Black Cleaver, you could go Divine Sunder or some like Trinity Force or something that would help better than Black Cleaver. Because at that moment, like there's not much value you're getting from Black Cleaver. And then he had one match where he was against 3 high damage mages. I think it was Lux. I know it was Lux. I'm not sure who the other ones were. But, he didn't build any magic resist. And so we were telling him, like, even though there's set builds for the champion you're playing, it's not set in stone. And I told him that one thing that I do is that I don't believe in core items. Like there's items that are specific in that certain champions need. Like if I'm playing Asol, I have to go Rod of Ages first time because that's just the best item. It works in, every single matchup. Whereas if I'm playing Darius top, if I'm up against Mundo, I'm not going to build Black Cleaver first, even though it's considered a core item. Or if I'm against a full AP team, or a team with a lot of AP, even though Death's Dance is a core item on Darius, I'm not going to build it. I'm going to build, either Force of Nature or something like that. And so everything can change. And just because someone says like, oh, this is the item for this champion, you don't have to take that as you have to have that in your build. You got to adapt. You have to evolve through your because, if you're just building what the top 3 players are building, yeah, that's going to work. But sometimes it's going to fail, and you're going to think, oh, well, maybe I played bad. Oh, maybe my team, inted. But most of the time, like you can play really well and then lose because you didn't build the right items.
Yeah. For me, I pretty much build the same thing every time on Irelia, but I will change up the order that I build them in. I know that I'm going to be in a match where I need sustain. I'll build Blade of the Ring King first. If I know I can bully the lane, I'll build Trinity Force first. But I still think those are core items that you need on that champion specifically. Like I think Vayne needs Blade of the Ring King. So
or like Jax, Blade of the Rune King is a really important item on Jax. but most of the time people will go for it like second or third item, and it's still there and people still build it, but it can be swapped around. There's matches where I'll build it first, but then there's matches where I'll build it third because I don't need it yet, but it's still really important on him and really, really useful.
I agree. So we're coming up on an hour here. I was going to go into the next one, but I feel like we should probably wrap it up there.
Yeah, because the other one is a really long one. It's the Aurelian Nerf discussion.
Yeah, and it's by Shroud Abuser. Shroud Abuser's fucking phenomenal. Like, he's always in my top 5 plays. He's just so good on like Akali and Katarina. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We'll go ahead and say,
welcome to VIP Club.
Thank you for your vote of confidence.
Thank you guys. You guys are amazing.
Thank you very much.
You're smart. You're loyal. You're grateful. I appreciate that.
I appreciate all of you guys, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Later.